Okay, yeah, I had a good time in China. Yeah, China was very nice. Especially I visited Shenzhen, China with like BSGI team. Scott Martin, the founding director of VSGI, Virginia Serious Game Institute, and James Casey, associate director of VSGI. So we went there, and they had the Tencent Game Developers Conference. So we gave little talk on serious game and how we can possibly utilize the serious game in like commercial game. And then we visited Tencent Games, and then we have another talk basically to Tencent game employees. Amazingly, Tencent now has like 50,000 employees, and then Tencent Game only has like 20,000 employees. So it was like very, very impressive. And then obviously Tencent literally owns a little bit of every game company in the United States, like EA, Riot Games, all these things. And then now they actually want to extend it to more kind of educational game stuff. So that's why BSGI and Computer Game Design Program at George Mason University has been partnered with them. And then another thing is they're about to found their studio in Santa Monica. So we will be kind of close contact with them, help them to do that. And they're actually developing a serious game institute in China. So we are helping them found that institute. So it was a interesting experience, and yeah, definitely. And then like the game scene, like landscape in game industry in China was very interesting too. So I'm going to maybe I'll try to share that with you later. But for now, let's look at Unit 4. Okay, so last Tuesday I want you to look at this one, intermediate game design. And then there were some lectures and then discussions. There wasn't really okay this one, but I didn't activate it because I kind of want to talk about it like today a little bit. Okay. So main idea is when you look at the 2D Pong and breakout game, okay, I want you to think about this modular design that I mentioned before. Okay? So basically, a lot of times in game industry, if you want to create a new game, okay, it's not like you have to create every single new thing. Okay? A lot of times, you play with what you already know, and probably your new game project has like maybe one or two new stuff. Okay? So even in a game studio, okay, whenever they have a meeting for the next project, what they say is, yeah, we're going to build this new game, but most of them we probably have some assets from previous project. So if we can focus on this new feature, okay, we can actually create that game. So that's actually what Steve Wozniak talked about in some of his. Okay. Oh. So I'm not going to play the whole thing, but basically Wozniak mentioned he already know a lot of game mechanics use it in breakout from 2D Pong. Okay, so he literally tweak it. Tweak what he already has to create breakout game. Okay, so that's basically what this is about. So a little discussion we can have is, okay, imagine that this is Pong game, like So this is Pong game. I want to find like original breakout game. So let's try to think about this. We know how to create this game, okay? And now we want to create this game, okay? So let's try to think about what we already know and what we do not know, so that we need to learn. Okay? Anybody? Let's talk about what we already know. Yes.
Moving the pedal on the bottom.
Yeah, moving the pedal on the bottom. Technically, 2D Pong is it moves vertically, but we can possibly tweak it, the pedal movement. Yes.
Collision with ball and paddle.
Yeah, collision between paddle and the ball. And anything else?
Resetting the ball.
Resetting the ball, yes, because we had the scoring system. And what else? And then, like, what we do not know. What do we have to learn? Yes.
How to make bricks disappear.
Yes. We have to know how to make the brick disappear when it gets hit. And what else? So now I want you to kind of think like designer. Okay, you're a designer, and a lot of times, okay, you have to think about, we know how to do one thing, then possibly we can tweak a little bit to do something. So pedal, for instance, pedal movement. Before we move to pedal vertically, okay, we actually manipulate its coordinate on y-axis. Okay? If you want to move it on horizontally, probably you can modify existing script. Okay? Instead of controlling y-axis, maybe you can controlling x-axis. And in terms of scoring system, okay, before we assign score when ball hits either left or right wall, but now whenever it hits the bottom wall, you probably take one away from the existing number of lives. Okay? So instead of plus, we basically use minus. Okay? And then destroying the brick, that's something we haven't talked about yet, but we'll probably implement that soon. Okay? So if you really think about it, okay, when you approach breakout game, I don't want you to think like, oh, this is whole new game. Like, where do I start? Instead of saying that, you can think about this as kind of modular design. Oh, I already know how to create that like pedal movement. I already know how to do ball movement. I already know how to manipulate that collision between game objects. I already know how to make some scoring system. So you already know these different modules. You put them together and now like modify a little bit. Then now one thing we have to learn is that destroying the brick whenever it gets hit. Okay? All right. So let's go to Unit 4-2, Lesson 4-2. And we are going to go through this. Okay. And again, this will be your okay, why this is here. Somehow this got moved to here, but I'm going to change it. Anyways, so once you go through this, you will be able to create breakout game. But in the process, I want you to understand, in game design, okay, a lot of times, okay, you are going to play with what you already know. Okay, so from now on, I mentioned this like 2 weeks ago. Okay, especially on the script side, I want you to have like a one folder in your desktop or laptop. Okay, try to make your own like database along with the script. So whenever you have to use some character movement, you can still go back to that pedal movement and modify it. Okay? All right. So what I'm going to do, if you go to, you can use your 2D Pong game. You can start from there, or you can go to class recordings and file created or use it in class demo. I have this one, breakout 2D Pong base. Use it on September 26th. So I'm going to use this file. Okay? This file as my base and to create breakout game. Okay? And if you want to use Unity Hub, you can click add and select that folder. Open it, and you will see this simple 2D Pong game. So I'm going to use that as my base, and we'll try to create breakout game. Okay? So this is what I have. Okay. And we'll try to convert this to breakout game. And now my reference will be Unit 4, Lesson 4-2, recreating breakout from Pong. Okay. So again, at your leisure, you can watch this video. Okay. And again, like few things you have to understand is I used it 2017, I think. So there are a few things you don't have to do actually if you follow this one. Okay. But let's think about this. Okay, starting from the old project, renaming your file. So here, this is what I have. And here, I have this my Pong. And then you can actually save this as breakout. Okay. And then now I have this breakout scene here. Okay. So if you want to kind of keep your old game, this is something you can do. Okay. So I still have my old game, but I saved this as breakout, and then I'm going to work on this scene. So if I want to go back to my 2D Pong game, I can always go back. Okay. And recycling on old project, advantage, yes. Creating new scene, this is something you don't have to do anymore. Okay. And renaming game object that only, removing game object that only use it. So here, let's try to think about this. Okay. Walls probably will use it. Okay. Ball, we are going to use it. This dashed line, in this case, I don't need it anymore. So a few things, you can just turn it off, or you can remove it by right click and delete. Okay. So this is totally up to you. You can just turn it off, or you can delete it. Maybe it's okay for you to delete it now because we are now in breakout scene. Okay, even if you delete this, okay, I'll save this scene, like save, and then I can go to my Pong. So I still have this my Pong scene. So even if you make some changes or delete things in breakout, well, you actually still has this my Pong scene, so it would be totally fine. And player 1 and 2, we actually need just one pedal. So I'll just get rid of player 2. Okay, so I have player 1. Okay. And now reposition and rescale the pedal. Okay, so I'll simply move this guy around. Okay, so this one, I'm going to look at my transform position, -8, 0, 0. So I'll change this to 0, 0, 0. Maybe I'm going to lower this, so I'm going to use y as some negative number, maybe -3, okay, maybe 4. Okay, I can tweak this number later. Okay. And then scale-wise, okay, maybe 1 and 0.2, 0.5. Maybe this is 1, fine. Okay. So now, scale-wise, like 1, 1, 1, okay, something like this. So later, if you want to make it visually more appealing, you will eventually swap this image with something else. Okay, so you don't have to kind of use exact same number that I use it here. Okay, but bottom line is you can do this. So for now, I'm going to actually use this green, like green square or now rectangle. But again, you can always go to Google Image and let's say flat spaceship. So you can possibly, I mean, if you can find some good image, yeah. Or technically I can get breakout pedal. So you can get something like this if you want, okay, and swap it. Okay. I'm going to show that later. Okay. So my point is, yeah, you don't have to use the exact number that I use it here, as long as you get the concept. Okay. All right. And pedal script modification. So now, this is player 1, meaning it will move up and down with W and S. Okay, this is what's happening now. Okay. So instead of up and down, we have to change it to left and right. So I'm going to go to player 1, and here there's player control script. I'm going to open my script. So now, maybe I'll just do some modification. Instead of up and down, I'm going to use right and left. Okay. Okay, this is all the way zoom in. Okay. And then this one obviously move right, move left. Okay. So technically, okay, if you are a lazy programmer, okay, I mean here I don't really have to change this because it's still use it here. So technically I can just change this to X, this to X, and this to Y, okay, and done, right? Save. I'm going to go back here, but I want to just show you the process. Now, if you just change this to X and this to Y and this to, actually I forgot to change this one, this to Y. So if you just swap this X and Y axis, okay, it's done actually. So now I'm going to play it. Now it's done. I'm still using W and S, so maybe I'm going to change this to D and A, so that I'm going to follow this WSAD format. So now my pedal works with A and D. Okay. So if you are a lazy programmer, I would kind of do this. Okay. But here, if I want to do it right, maybe let's say if I'm going to share this file with someone else, or if this is a like team project, I still know, oh, this is move up, but I actually change it to x speed positive, so it's actually move right. Okay, but I still know, but if this is a team project, I actually have to let them know too. Okay, so that's why I'm going to change this to move right. Okay, and then instead of up arrow, I'm going to put right arrow and then actually make changes later. Okay, right arrow. This one left, move left, and left. Okay. Then now this one is complaining because I don't have move up anymore. Okay, so I'm going to change this to move right. And this one move left. Okay. And done. And then again, this one, if move right is pressed, we are going to give some positive velocity on the x-axis. Okay. If move left pressed, I'm going to use negative number on the x-axis. And then if there's no key, this one I didn't change it either. This one, if there's no key, okay, on the x-axis there's no movement. Okay, and then this one, there's not going to be any movement on the y-axis. So I'm going to make this one as 0. And I'm going to save it. And test it again. Oh, never mind. Wait. This one, if there's no key input, okay, should it be? Okay, Y. This one actually is supposed to be X. And then because this one moves right, move left, if there's no input, it's not going to move on the x-axis. Okay. And then okay, and then now as you can see, this one, because I updated it, move right becomes right arrow, move left, left arrow, and then you can control this with your right and left arrow. So that's basically pedal modification. And then now, if you look at here, extra and intermediate, moving your pedal in 4 different directions. This is not something you have to do right now, but let's kind of talk about it really quick. Okay. So now we do have this script. Okay. Move my pedal on x-axis. So it will move my character or my player in one axis. Okay? What if I want to move this guy all 4 different directions? Okay? Now you should be able to visualize, oh, this one and this one will move my player or game object on the x-axis. So if I add something that will make my game object move on the y-axis, okay, you should be able to move this on 4 different directions. Okay? So a lot of times, okay, this is what's going to happen in game development. There's going to be copy and paste. Okay? So sometimes, if you are a programmer, sometimes programmers say like, "Oh, you're not supposed to copy and paste." Okay? Then you're not like true programmer. Well, in reality, even you are like a 20 years or 30 years experienced programmer, okay, you create one code. If it works, okay, you can actually copy and paste and modify it to like add more features. Okay, so here, what if I want to move this guy in 4 different directions? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy this and paste it. Okay. Okay, this one kind of messed up my indent. Okay, so move right and left. Now I'm going to have move up and down again. Up and down. This one would be up, and this one would be down. Okay, and then I have moved right and left. Okay, I'm going to copy this move right and left part. Okay. And then I'm going to put this input any key. If there's no any key input, I want to put it down here. And put this one right over here. And I'm going to add else if. Okay. And then yeah, this is something I don't like about Visual Studio in Mac. It messed up my indent. It's not that big a deal, but some programmer, I mean, this is something we're going to talk about later, but or not the important. Like some people use if something and curly braces here. So when I learned programming, this is how I use it, my curly braces. Okay? But if you use Visual Studio now, the default is this. Okay? I mean, it's basically the same thing. Okay? But sometimes it bothers me a lot, okay? Especially this indent. Okay? So it's supposed to kind of like line up, but anyways. So now, I'm going to change this to move up. Okay, move up. And then this one, now because we want to make this one move upward, I'm going to change this to Y. And then this one, I'm going to change this to move down. And then this one, I'm going to change it to Y. And now, if there's no input at all, it should stop on the x-axis, and it also should stop on the y-axis. Okay. And then now we do not need this reset on y because it should move on both axes. Okay. So now, okay, this is why I don't like this, but let me try to. So this one's kind of not that organized in terms of the line and indentation, but you probably get the point. So I have this move right and left on the x-axis, and move up and down, okay, up and down for y-axis. And then now, if there's no input at all, it will stop on both axes. And now I do not have to reset. So technically, you can just erase these 3 lines. So here, I mean, I'm going to erase this later, so you don't have to. I want you to get the concept, okay? And I'll save it. And then again, this one is explained right in this video. Okay? So later you can watch it. Okay? So now, if I play this, now I can move left and right and up and down as well. Okay? So imagine that now we are moving this pedal. Okay? But imagine that you actually want to move some different game character. Okay? You can still do that. Okay? Just for instance, so let's say you do have some like a Mega Man character. Okay. Mega Man 8-bit. Okay. Not perfect, but imagine that you have this types of image. Okay. Okay. Okay, and then here, instead of this player 1, okay, this is a sprite renderer. So I'm going to put this guy here, okay. And then you can actually have this up and down, left and right, okay. So eventually we are going to implement a little bit of animation. Then like it will look a lot better. But the idea is, okay, once you get to know this simple pedal movement, okay, you can possibly convert this to some other different types of player movement script, because it basically move your game object around in your game world. Okay. So now I'm basically using that same like pedal movement script to control this game character. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go back. Okay. So I don't need it, but and then even the script, I don't have to move it up and down yet. So I'm going to actually change that. So I do not need this. And up and down, I don't need this. Okay. And I need this back. Okay. So now I have this pedal that moves left and right. Okay. All right. Okay. Recycling an old script. Okay. So now removing a component from game object. So now what I realize, okay, whenever my ball hits left and right wall, this starts again, right? But what we really want to have is, whenever ball hits left and right, that should be fine. But if this ball hits bottom wall, something should happen. So for now, we are going to remove that component from the wall. So I'm going to go to left and right wall. Okay. Here, if you remember, there is this left wall script. Okay. So here, basically, I don't need this at this point. Okay. So this left wall, so I'm going to simply remove this. Okay? So I'm going to click on this gear icon and then remove component. And same thing for the right wall. Okay? Remove component. So now they basically bounce off from left and right wall. Okay? And attaching explosion sound to the bottom wall. Okay. So now, okay, this is what it is actually. Recycling an old script and attaching explosion sound to the bottom wall. So basically, now, what we need to do is, whenever this ball hits bottom wall, we want to intervene. Meaning, we want to kind of, not necessarily stopping the game, but we probably take one away from existing lives. Okay? And then, ball hit the bottom wall, maybe it should go back to the center and start again. Okay? So I'm going to now go to bottom wall, okay? And then recycle one of this script that I have, either left or right wall. Okay? Or you can actually recreate different one. So I'm going to go to bottom wall. Maybe I'm going to do this. I'm going to add component, new script, and BOT wall script. Okay, and this is bottom wall. And now I'm going to open left wall script. Okay, and I'll simply copy this and paste it. I don't need start or update. I just need on trigger enter 2D. Okay. And then I'm going to say debug log. This is a collision on the bottom wall. Okay. Now let's not think about this score system yet. Okay. But this one will send a message to my ball and restart, okay, my ball from the center. What are you doing? What are you doing? What is this? Music? No music. Very fast. Okay, so now, as is, if you play this, because we already had this feature built in, it will reset ball. So now, whenever this ball hit the bottom, oops, it didn't work because we didn't put the is trigger. Okay, we didn't select is trigger. Okay, and now whenever this ball hit this bottom wall, it will reset the ball. So now, as you can see, it will reset the ball. So basically what we did, this feature was attached to the left and right wall. We simply remove it and add that feature on the bottom wall. Okay? That's basically what it did. And now, attaching explosion sound to the bottom wall. Okay? We want to make little sound. Okay? So, anyone remember what script we have to use for this? Anybody? Anyone remember? We want to make little sound whenever this ball hits the bottom wall. What script should we use?
Audio source.
What?
Audio source.
Yeah. I mean, audio source, yes, but like what types of command we have to use?
Get components.
Yes, but no. Play one shot. I thought like the play one shot is covered in 2D Pong, no? Maybe not. My bad. Okay, we are going to use play one shot. Okay. So play one shot allow us to play like sound bite. It could be MP3 or WAV file. Okay. It will make that play that sound bite, okay, using this play one shot command. Okay. As its name suggests, play one shot will play this soundbite once. Okay. So now, let's try to find some like explosion sound. Okay. What I usually do. Oh wait, I don't have Audacity here. Okay. Okay. So what I'm going to do. Everyone know how to use Audacity, right? Audacity is a free software, and okay. Okay, it won't take that much time, so I'll just download it and okay. Mac OS DMG. I'll show you a really quick trick with Audacity. And I think in this video, okay. So this is Audacity. And what I usually show you in this case, okay, this is, I can basically have some, record some sound, okay. Right? And then one thing you can think about is how to use the filter. So this one, what I'm going to do, one thing I'll show you really quick trick you can use, okay, to make simple sound. Okay, so this one. Oh, not this. Okay. I think this is the right one. Okay. All right. Okay, audio sound. Okay. Headphone port. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you a simple filter you can use or you can play with to create simple sound. And device. playback. Where's the output? Import, export. Okay. Sound. Output. Okay. Okay, now it should be good. Okay. But this one actually hasn't been. All right. So here, what I can do really quick. I'll record something. So this, I just made this tap sound. Okay. Well, actually, it doesn't go out to my to the speaker, but let's see. MacBook microphone. Oh, here. External headphone. Yes. So now, why is it too small? External headphones. External headphone port. It should be good. Okay, can anyone just change the volume on the Creston up there? There's a volume control, volume knob. Yeah, can you? Yes. Okay. Thank you. So it worked. Okay. So now I have this simple sound, right? And then what I want to do, I'm going to apply like some filters. Okay. I'll highlight this, and I'm going to go to effect, and you can play with this some different stuff, like reverb, for instance. Okay. Oh, that's reverse. I want you to get the reverb effect. Okay, reverb. Okay. So this one will apply some effect, sound effect. So now it actually create a little more depth in this, like a special perspective, because room size, or you can get more decay. Okay. So you can play with this attribute. Okay. And I'll okay, and then I'll actually use different types of effect as well. Maybe distortion. Okay. And now, so now if you remember, the sound that I originally had was something like this. So literally this is my original sound, right? And then this one is, I applied two sound effects. Okay? One reverb, and the other was the distortion. So now it creates a little more different sound perspective. And you can also play with this, some different types of, let's see, a little bit of phaser. Okay. And phaser, it will have that little like laser sound at the end. Okay. Or another thing you can play with, effect. Let's see. little bit of vocoder. And some of them has preview, so you can play with like, oh, error. Oh, this one requires stereo track. If that's the case, you can actually copy this and paste it and then make it stereo, but I'm not going to do that. But anyways, okay. So this one, even now, maybe I'll put a little more phaser, but this time I'm going to have more depth and higher feedback. Now, so that I basically made my sound a little the broader ranger, like this. So remember, I actually started with this sound, but now I ended up with this phaser sound. And then order of sound effect applied is important too. Now I can actually do reverb again to give so more kind of in-depth sound. So now I'm going to use this as my the bottom explosion sound, okay? And now I have to export it as MP3. I probably need to download some library, I'm not sure. Maybe not, I don't know. I'm going to put it on the desktop. Desktop and explosion sound and save. Okay. So now I have that sound on my desktop. Where is it? It is not here. Okay. So I'm going to put it here. So for that asset, maybe I'm going to create new folder, MP3 or something. Okay. Okay, so now I have this sound. Okay, and I can preview it here. One thing I realized, I have too much. I probably have to start it here. So I'm going to actually edit it a little bit. I'll erase this and re-export it. And exportation 2, save. Okay, so now I have the second one. And this one, okay. All right, so now what I wanted to do is whenever this ball hits this bottom wall, I want to play that particular MP3 file. Okay, so this one it might be tricky, okay, but if you practice it a few times, I'm sure it will be okay. So I'm going to show you this maybe twice, but again, I am recording this demonstration, so later you can take a look at it one more time. So now, okay, to use this, I have to use this guy, this script. This is an example and script that I can use. So I'm going to go to my bottom wall and open my script. Okay, okay, and now, okay, this is what I need. Okay, so it has public audio clip impact and audio source. I'm going to copy these two lines. Okay, it actually was outside of my void start, void on collision enter. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy these two lines. Okay, I'm going to copy these two lines and put it here. Okay, something like this. Okay, I'll try not to change its name yet, but later, once you get used to how to use this, you can change these names, but I'm not going to change it for now. Okay, so this one, whenever there's collision, okay, I'm going to do this. Okay, I'm going to do this. Okay, but here one thing I realized, it has void start. Okay, so maybe I shouldn't need it. I shouldn't need this guy. Copy this. I'm going to explain what they do in a moment. So basically what I did, I'll just go back. Okay, first I copied this one and pasted it here. And then, well, I probably need this voice start audio source something. Put it here. And on collision enter, okay, this is, I'm going to put it here. So basically what it is, what they are is, public audio clip impact is you have to initialize, okay, what audio clip we are going to use. Okay? And this is public, meaning we can actually get an access to this impact audio clip outside of this script, meaning in the Unity. So what's going to happen, because we put this public, later on in Unity, you will actually see this audio clip impact in your component. Okay? And audio source meaning we have to use audio source component. So meaning later on we have to add, okay, audio source component. And start basically is initializing, oh, we are going to use audio source attached to this particular game object. And this one is really where it plays that MP3 file. Okay? I'm going to, again, explain this one more time in a moment. And now, okay, this is what I have. I'm going to save it. Okay? And go back to Unity. And now here, look at this. Okay? Look at here. Now, as you can see, it has impact non-audio clip, meaning we have to put one audio clip, okay, that we want to play basically here. So I'm going to go to MP3, okay, and bottom wall, and drag this one into this audio clip right over here. Okay. And now, I'm going to play this, and I'm going to get an error. Okay, I think sometimes I teach this way better because you will encounter this error over and over again. So let's actually see. I'll play this. Okay. Now it seems like it's okay, but whenever it hits bottom wall, okay, now I got this one. It said, missing component exception. There is no audio source attached to the bottom wall game object, but a script is trying to access it. Okay, meaning, this is bottom wall game object. Okay, we are using this script that want to use get component audio source. Okay, but we do not have audio source attached to this game component, game object. That is why we got that missing component exception error. Okay? So sometimes you will get this missing component exception error time to time. But again, this Unity as a compiler will tell you what went wrong. It said there is no audio source attached to the bottom wall game object, okay? But a script is trying to access it. So to fix it, you can simply add component, okay, audio, and audio source. Okay. Now we do have audio source. Okay. So now I'm going to clear this and play. I'm not going to get that error anymore. So now there's little, not time delay, but now I realize in my explosion sound, I have this maybe 0.2 seconds of not delay, but there's like my sound truly starts like after 0.2 seconds. So that's why if I feel like it seems like there's a little time delay, but you see, whenever it hits the bottom wall, it makes that sound. Okay, and then we're gonna use this play one shot many more times later. But here, few things you can play is this one is volume, and this one is sound, like a sound bite. So we made this impact audio clip. Okay, we actually we assigned this explosion 2 MP3 file as impact audio clip. Okay, we did that here. Okay, and then whenever we hit, okay, audio source play one shot, that impact audio clip, which is explosion 2 MP3 file with 70% of volume. Okay, that's basically what's happening here. Okay, and then not right now, but later, if you take like GAME232, you probably will learn more about this sound thing. So here, you can possibly have some sound address. Instead of play from the beginning, you can play from like 0.2 seconds. Okay? So that's possible, but we're not going to talk about this today, but that's possible. Okay? And then here, okay, I probably talked about BFXR. I'm not sure which one I talked about. So I talked about BFXR here. Yeah. So BFXR, even easier. Okay. So this is BFXR. You can download it for Mac or PC, or there are many different like similar types of things like this. So I can download it, or there is SF something, BFXR audio maker, or 8-bit audio maker. There's BFXR, and there's SF something. So you can find something like this. This is BFXR, and there's, I forgot, there's exactly this one. Okay, clip tone. Okay. Not this one. Okay. I cannot find it, but if I found it, like I'll share that. But there's this BFXR. Okay. Open. Okay, security. I think this is this one. Okay, general, allow app downloaded from everywhere, open anyway. Okay. Oh, open anyway, open. Okay. So here, this is BFXR. You can easily make this sound. So there's like a triangle, sine, square. This one. And then whatever you do here, okay, basically this is a bunch of like random generator using like sound oscillator, okay. So my background, I did many like experimental music. So if you think about this sound wave, like sine, cosine, or like a square top or saw, it actually makes the sound. And then this one actually, BFXR is based upon that oscillator, like a digital oscillator. It generates either sine, cosine, or all these different types of sound wave. Then it makes sound. And then they actually have some like formula to put those sound wave together to get certain sounds. Okay, so jump. Whatever you do, it gets stored here. And then you can export either wave file, okay? And then export wave and export all wave file. It will actually give you like a dot wave file, which is a sound file. So you can just download everything you played here. Okay? And then if you don't like certain thing, you can just erase it. Okay? Or you can just go back. And then download it and use it. Okay? And this one is something you can download and use. And again, like there are so many similar software out there. I cannot find that particular one. This one. I think this is. Oh no, not this one. Yeah, I'll try to find that, but there is something similar to this, but it's online based, so you can go to that website and then do the same thing. Okay. But anyways, that's another place you can go to make simple sound. Okay. And we have like 3 more minutes, so okay, we finished this one. Ball movement update. So basically, ball movement update is, okay, if you do this, sometimes it goes up, okay? So we don't basically want that, because if you visualize breakout game, I'm going to have bricks up here, okay? So I do not want my ball, okay, goes up, because that will make your game so easy. So I'm going to go to ball and ball movement, and basically I'm going to look at this one. It should just go down, okay? Meaning this y should be negative number, okay? Because we want to push it downward, not upward. So I can simply erase some, okay? And then put this one as negative. So this one, I'll put positive, negative, and negative, negative. So now it will move only 2 directions. I'll save it. And now it will always move to the bottom direction. All right. So game manager update, we're gonna do it on next Tuesday. And I'm going to save my file, okay. I'm going to save it. Okay, save project. And I'm going to put this online on Blackboard. So if you want to take a look at what I did, you can download it and take a look at it. Okay. Any question? All right, it's good to be back. And I know like I haven't posted your grade yet, but I looked at your files in China, and I'm going to post it, your grade this weekend. So again, like if you kind of demonstrate, you put some time and effort in this project, I usually give a good grade. So you don't have to worry too much about it. And some of you actually got 0 because if you submit multiple times, like basically you get 0 for like the first submission. So you don't have to worry about it because later on it will be replaced with the latest submissions score. Okay. All right, I will see you guys next Tuesday, and have good weekend. And way out, I'm going to. I have this C sharp reference. No, oh, actually, never mind. I'll see you guys next week.
Excuse me, Professor.
Yes.
You must have the video on the Blackboard, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So all the tutorial videos are in Blackboard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excuse me. So